got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems, I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems, I solve them. I run through them.
Welcome back to another episode of the Problems on Problems podcast. I am your host, Mike Santi, and today we're going to talk about ghosting. It's spooky season. We're almost done with spooky season. And what better way to celebrate? Celebrate? I don't know. What better way to commemorate spooky season than talking about ghosting? Because, you know, everyone's biggest problems, not everyone's biggest problems, Mike's biggest problems, dating. Not really. Side note, I'm not dating. I hate this. Not like that. Your boy's just not emotionally available. Number one, he refers to himself as his boy, your boy, third person. It's all going downhill from here, but let's go back onto topic. Ghosting. What is it? Ghosting is, honestly, if I got to explain it to you, this might not be the podcast for you, but for everyone else. Ghosting is basically that phase of talking to somebody / dating when they disappear off the face of the earth. Just poof. And if I could do animations, there would be a poof there. But yeah, it happens. Whether if you're guilty of it, I know, we're trying to get better. We move on kind of thing. We move. If you've been a victim of it, I'm so sorry, because it is not a good feeling. But yeah, there's a lot of levels to ghosting. One of which, honestly, is the friendly ghost, Caspering, which honestly is probably if you're going to ghost somebody, disclaimer, don't ghost people. All right. Let's be mature adults. I feel so fake saying this because I've ghosted people before, but not anytime recently or lately. But yeah, let's not ghost people. Let's have mature conversations with people. Let's have uncomfortable conversations with people. Hey, I'm just not that into you. But yeah, don't do it. But if you're gonna do it, this is probably the best way to go about it. And that's the Caspering, where you are very honest. You're very honest about like your feelings towards this person, interest or lack thereof towards this person. And as a result of that, you go your separate ways. You go your separate ways. There's not much more to Caspering. It's really, I would say it's probably the best form of ghosting, where it's just like, hey, nah, B, it ain't for me, so I'm gonna go. You know? Now you do. There's also breadcrumbing. I'm starting to understand or not understand. I'm starting to be weirded out by the fact that like these are either food or food or animation related. We will see as we go down the list, but breadcrumbing, it is exactly what it sounds like. You're literally just leaving breadcrumbs for this poor soul to pick up on, and more or less you're just leading them on with no intention of ever doing anything serious or becoming anything serious with them. And to that I say, shame on you. Don't do that. That's not nice. Let's be better kind of thing. Breadcrumber. I would say that out of this entire list, I'd rather take a ghost over a breadcrumber. And that, granted, we don't want either one, but don't do that. Oh, we're too early in the show to be saying that. I'm going to bleep it out. But yeah, after that you have, let's do it anyways. I'm guilty of this one. I'm guilty of this one more than I would like to admit, but we're getting better. We are getting better. Because if anything, talking about all your problems in front of a camera just holds a giant mirror in your face and like, hey man, these are self-inflicted. We're going off on a side tangent. We need to get this back on track. Submarining. And submarining, what better way to describe this as literally a submarine, where you will ghost someone for days, weeks, months. I feel like days don't count, honestly. Like, you don't need to be talking to everybody every day. Let's go on a side tangent real quick. I think healthy communication does not have to be daily communication unless necessary. So if there's someone that you need to communicate with on a daily basis, by all means, that's cool. What I don't think is cool is expecting someone to talk to you all day, every day. That's a lot. That's a lot for anybody. I talk to a bunch of people on a daily basis, and even then, I still try to give them a break every, maybe once a week. Like, hey, we don't gotta talk. Maybe on the weekends too. We don't gotta talk then. But yeah, no, this idea of you constantly being available thing, it's just not good. Like, sometimes you just gotta unplug, literally, like, just chill, don't talk to anybody. Maybe talk to one person. I don't know. Be alone. But yeah, don't have that expectation of someone, especially if you're romantically involved with them. And now we get into the point where we have differing views. I don't like that. We have different views, possibly on communication. And if you've got that, feel free, because I have no idea what time of the day it is. I can't even speak English anymore, but feel free to leave it in the comments. All right. Speaking of which, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on Problems on Problems. You know the deal. But yes, you don't have to talk to everybody every day. And if you're one of those people, by all means, make sure you're communicating that with any potential suitors, because golly, is it not a good time to be on both ends. Transparently, I've been on both ends. There have been times, remember last week when we talked about like that weird version of Mike, the needy Mike? That's not cool. But yeah, there were times where I would talk to you every day and I wouldn't think that was an issue. But then again, I was filtering it through the idea of, mouth noises. But I was filtering it through the idea of like, oh, I like you. I want to spend more time with you. But again, everything in moderation. But yeah, no. So with summer reading, it's going like weeks at a time, maybe even months at a time without talking to somebody, and then popping back up into their lives, as if nothing ever happened. So, a good one, especially as we come to the holiday season time of the year. There's such a better way to say that, Mike. As we come to the holiday season, you're gonna see them a lot. You know those "Hey Stranger" texts that you get? Yeah, those might be submariners. They also might just be people that you don't want in your life, kind of thing. But beware of that. We'll talk about that as the year carries on. But yes, they will act like nothing has happened. I've done it before. There's no excuse for it. I literally could not come up with a good enough excuse. It was just one of those things where like that person just wasn't on my radar, and then they were on my radar, and that's not fair to them. And so number one, props to anybody that stands their ground when it comes to ghosts, because it's very easy to be on the receiving end of ghosting, like as if someone has ghosted you, and to still be interested in that person, not respect your own boundaries, not understand your own worth, and then just, take them back like it's nothing. And in which case, also, don't do that shit. Yeah, stand your ground. Stand your ground, because whether it is the Caspers, the breadcrumbers, the straight up just ghost, or even the submariners in your life, you know your worth. You know you're better than that. You deserve better than that. Set proper expectations and also set boundaries. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of people looking like that toxic future meme that'll just hit you up and expect it to be okay. And honestly, you know what? If ghosting is okay with you, go live your life, all right? If anything, this whole podcast has been a series of mixed signals and conflicting advice where at the end of the day, I say, hey, as long as you're not hurting anybody or yourself, be happy. But, set proper boundaries and communicate and stuff like that. But yeah, where are we going with this? Oh yeah, the ghosting part of it. So why does it happen? This will probably be the shortest segment in this entire video. Why ghosting happens is really, to me, one of two reasons. Either, number one, they don't care about you. And that's not really, I feel like that's overselling it. They just don't care. And that's fine. Yeah, it sucks to hear like, oh, someone doesn't care, because then you start like reflecting as if it's like part of you or something like that. But no, bro, do your thing. If they don't care enough to communicate properly, then by all means, deuces. Let them know. Don't even let them know. Just do what they did. Ignore them. The second reason is, this one's a little bit tougher. It's really the idea that this person isn't emotionally or communicatively, multisyllabic words, big words, you know what we're doing, communicatively mature enough to have the conversation with you, whether that be because they're uncomfortable with confrontation, they don't know how to process their own emotions, or not even communicate their emotions. But either way, there is a gap in that person's communication, obviously, because they just stopped communicating. And you just got to know at the end of the day, whether it be one of these two reasons, that, hey, if they were a little bit more into you, this wouldn't be an issue. So just accept the fact that they're just not that into you. And that's okay. Life moves on. We move. But yeah, that's really about it. Do we solve ghosting? We didn't solve ghosting today. There's no way to solve it because it doesn't have anything to do with you. Now, if you are someone that is ghosting, again, don't do that shit. Like, what? It's so easy. So from personal experience, you don't need to know how I got to this point. But I had a conversation with someone that I was submarining, whether that be subconsciously or consciously. I was submarining them. Like, I would lose interest and I would just not talk to them. And then I would gain interest again. I have no idea why. And then I would start talking to them. And they, which fast forward to now, we're generally good friends, not romantically involved or anything like that. Yeah, that sounds complicated. It's not, though. We're fine. But yeah, no, it was one of those things where they stood their ground. She stood her ground because she's a lady. She stood her ground. She said, hey, man, that's not cool with me. Like, I think you are genuinely a nice person, but romantically, I need someone that communicates better than that, and someone who's not just going to up and peace out when it's convenient or inconvenient to them. And to that, I say, number one, I respect you. I genuinely appreciate you for having that difficult conversation with me and calling me out on my bullshit. Let's do this. If someone's ghosting you and they try and come back, let's call them out on our bullshit. If it goes horribly wrong, blame me, tag this episode, shameless plug. Yeah, and we kind of go from there. So, I mean, at the end of the day, stand your ground, set proper boundaries, and if someone's ghosting you, just, let them go. Let them do their thing. Let them just poof, disappear, because it's just going to be easier for you in the long run. If I could speak, it's going to be easier for you in the long run. But yeah, with that, we're going to take a quick break, reset everything, and then we'll do what we do every Friday, y'all. What do we do every Friday? The POP thing.
POP, all the time.
And we're back. It's literally a 3-second thing. I don't know why I tell you guys we're back like that. It's been longer than that for me, but with the magic of editing, we're back. Couple quick announcements before we continue. This weekend's your last chance to get in any other DM horror stories. I've left it open for 3 weeks now, just to kind of, for some of you, y'all are out here in these streets and y'all got a new DM horror story. Y'all got a new story all the time. And I don't know. Well, actually, I do know. It's because, guys, we got to do better. Y'all are, and I mean guys like men, boys, immature males, males, do better. It's rough out there. Now, ladies, don't think you're just getting let off easily. That's not what's happening here, because do I have a bunch of stories for you, including some of your affinities for my podcast voice. It still makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't like it. This voice is mine, and we're moving on now. But yeah, don't think you're off the hook, because y'all ain't no saints. Still not a good sentence. You guys aren't saints. You ladies aren't saints. Everyone do better. But yeah, so last chance to send in your DM horror stories. We'll film those, record those, all that good stuff, and have it out for episode 13, the spooky episode, the one that releases right before Halloween. Conveniently, I just got lucky. But yeah, make sure you guys are sending those in. But with that, like we do every week, we got 2 things to cover, and 2 things to cover in depth. The first one being the Friday food debate. I honestly don't know why I call it a Friday food debate, as you as you may have seen last week, where it had nothing to do with food. I mean, technically kind of, if you think about it, like, you know why it has something to do with food, but it wasn't a food object. So maybe we'll change the name to, like, I don't know, Friday debate. I'm still working on it, but just know, I know it didn't have anything to do with food. It had something to do with food. But last week we talked about toilet paper, over versus under. And overwhelmingly, 80% of you chose over. And I don't want to act conflicted about this, because I agree with you. I'm all about it. My message about this debate really goes to the under people, because what is happening? What do we do? What have we come to as a society where under's your go-to? Now, I will say this. I'll give some of you guys an out, because I realize I only gave you 2 choices, over or under. I didn't give you a choice for both or anything like that. And I do understand that some of you guys just don't care. And that's totally okay. Some of you guys is just convenient. Like, hey, as long as the toilet paper is on the holder, I'm happy. Like, whether that be because you have 5 kids and you're just going through toilet paper left and right, and you're like, if it's on there, it's on there. That's all that counts. Side note, though, if you're one of those people that isn't changing the toilet paper and just doing what serial killers do, and just leaving the toilet paper on the holder, but not actually in the holder, like just propped up against it, yo, shame on you. Do better. Seriously, do better, because you got like 90% of the work done. The only person that's worse when it comes to toilet paper is the person that takes the empty roll off and then just leaves the new roll sitting there, not in or being held or anything like that. That is some psycho shit. You did 99% of the work, and then you just decided, nah, don't need it. So yeah, I don't understand you. But yes, back to the debate. By all means, if it's out of convenience or not comfort, if it's out of convenience, or your life is hectic enough where how a toilet paper roll is unraveling is not the most important thing to you, and you have other stuff going on, that's okay. If you chose under because you want it to go under, I really need to know what your thought process is. I need to know what's going on in your mind, because golly, why? What are we doing here? Do you like your toilet paper just like touching walls, and all that stuff? Like, now granted, you could have a freestanding toilet paper holder. I'm just saying, there's a lot more wrong with the under. But at the end of the day, yo, you know what? As long as you're wiping your ass, I'm not gonna complain that much. I'm just gonna look at that. But yeah, no. So there it is, 80% over. This week, fall is almost in the air. And by almost, it's because I live in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina. And it's been referred to sometimes as the border to Satan's. Bleep that out too, Mike. But yeah, it's hot. It's muggy. We have 13 seasons of North Carolina weather for a reason, and Charlotte basically likes to stay in the hot part of those seasons more often. So I mean, this weekend I got lucky. That's a loaded statement. No, not like that at all. I got lucky with the weather in the sense that I'm so sorry. I got lucky with the weather in the sense that it was warm enough during the day, but then it was cold enough to wear things like a corduroy shirt, or jackets and stuff like that. So I appreciate it. Keep it coming. Please, God, keep it coming. But yeah, with that, it's got me in this mood, and I think it's too easy to go the coffee route and be like, oh, what's a better coffee flavor? I'm not much happier about that voice than you guys are. But yeah, so I didn't go the coffee route or anything like that. But if anything, you know, your boy, thick boy, that's me. So I just wanted to know, better fall pie. Is it the Americana itself, the apple pie? Or is it that Thanksgiving dinner, dessert, whatever it is, pumpkin pie? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the polls. Apple pie versus pumpkin pie. Like I said at the end of the day, I'll still eat it, so it don't matter. It do not matter. But yeah, no, let me know. And with that, guys, last segment of the show, our Friday follows. I might just have to change it to follows because honestly, yeah, I might just have to change it to follows, mainly because of the fact that you can follow them on days that aren't Fridays, but you know, you see this on a Friday most of the time, so do your thing. But this week, I don't know why it's taking me this long to add them into this, but the business that we're gonna follow is Ascend Apparel, co-owned by one of my former co-workers, Salim Collins. These guys are out here. They're killing the game, honestly. Like, so from my recollection of this, now this is years ago, started off with like elite level designer kind of bags for guys, girls, all that stuff, but geared towards, you know, the homies. And now they've got jumpsuits. They've got sneakers. I need to get my hands on a pair of these sneakers because they are just, boy, they are so good. The silver edition, the gold edition, both of them. I'm going to go broke buying these shoes, but like, they're really out here. They're doing bits. Go support them. Go buy their stuff. I'll leave all their info down in the description like I do every week. But yeah, no, definitely give them a shout out. Let them know what's good. Go buy their stuff. This one's kind of different. Mainly because it's still kind of a business. It can be a business. It's going to be a business because it is going to rack in all the money. It is a podcast. The podcast that we're going to shout out today is It's Sports Sis. Two sisters that I met this weekend. They are amazing. Sarah and Christine. They're great. The podcast, still early in its infancy. It's in its infancy. But it is all geared towards making sports relatable to people that don't know a lot about sports, giving you context as to why certain things in headlines are important, why you should care about updates in sports, but also it gives you a take on it that is different than just your analysts and commentators just talking about sports and stats left and right. It is very much enjoyable. Go follow them. Go listen to their stuff. They're great, and hopefully we will have them on the show soon. But yeah, guys, that's it. I don't know why I just drew a blank because it's literally the end of the episode. But yeah, guys, like always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, not only to the Friday follow people, but to me, to Problems on Problems. Really, you could pick either or, but definitely do both. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you go follow at Problems on Problems podcast. Make sure you follow me at Mike Santi 18 on all social medias. But with that, guys, I love you all. you have a great whatever time of the week this is for you, whether that be weekend or during the week. And like I always say, if it's not a good time, hope it's a good story. And I will see you guys next week.
Check out problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression, it's all that I wanted. A phone in affection, I summon and dub it.